How to bend PVC. Step 1, make a jig. So I'm going to start by thinking about what shape I want to do. In this case, I just want to bend a simple curve to illustrate how the process works. This is a leftover piece of wood I have from building an arbor, which is another project that I built a while back. I'm just going to draw a simple line as a guide for where to screw in my second line of screws, because we're going to have 2 lines of screws which will hold the PVC in place. They'll act as sort of anchor points. I'm going to drill holes, staggering them all the way along the outside edge and the pencil line I drew. I'm not going to show you me drilling all of those holes. That would be a lot. But you'll get the idea. I have faith in you. Then I'm going to put in a series of screws in all of those holes. I'm not going to screw it all the way down. The goal is the screw is sticking out maybe 1.5 inches. And the reason for that is that we want the screw up a little bit so that it can hold the PVC in place. It's there to act as sort of a guide and an anchor. The more screws you have, the more little anchor points you have to hold the PVC in place. I probably could have used a few more, but I put enough in to do the job. And I also put in 2 blocks at the sides, the far end points of my little arch, to give myself a little bit more firm of an anchor on those parts, because that's where the PVC is going to be pushing the hardest, which you'll see once I show you the finished jig in the next section of our video. I'm also not going to show you screwing in all of those screws for the same reason I didn't show you putting all the holes in, because I think it'd be kind of boring. A jig is a device that holds a piece of work and guides that work when operating tools on it, in case you weren't familiar with it. Here's the finished jig. You can see the little blocks at the end, which I put in for additional strength. Here's method 1 for bending PVC. It's not the best method, but with a jig, you won't bend into PVC, which is, the advantage of using this structure, this jig that we built. But you can see it's still hard. I'm struggling to force it in a little bit. I'm having to step on the jig and bend it and squish it. But it's working. I'm not getting any weird kinks, which is, the goal here. And if I were to leave it in a little longer than I'm going to, particularly on a hot day, that would help a little bit too, because the PVC would heat up a little bit. 1 hour later. Okay, 1 hour later, you're going to see me now pull the PVC out. I'm going to brace it, because you can see it's going to want to move. But you can see we got a sustained bend in the PVC. It's not going to straighten right back out. That bend will stay there. You could wrestle it some more and it would go away. Method 2, boiling water. This is my preferred method. You're going to put an end cap so that when you pour the boiling water in, it doesn't just go out the bottom. I'm not going to show you the water boiling, because once again, that would be too long. 1 potato, 2 potato, 3 potato, TV magic. Now we got boiling water. I pre-measured how much water fits into the PVC ahead of time when the water was cold, and that's the amount of water that I'm then boiling. I'm actually boiling a tiny bit less than that, just to be safe, because I don't want the PVC to fill up and a little bit of boiling water to come out and splash on me. That's also why I'm using the funnel. And you could pour this boiling water in there a couple times. Pour the boiling water in there, reboil it, pour the boiling water in that, boil it again, and each time the PVC would soften a little bit more and make the PVC more and more pliable. I'm only going to do 1 round, because I think even with just 1 round, the PVC is going to be a lot more pliable than the first go round, and you'll see that the curve will stick a lot better than with just brute force and time. Give it a test. You can see it's a little bit more bendy. Then I'm going to wait a minute, let the heat and the steam do their work on the PVC, and you'll see in just a few seconds that when I go to bend it again, it's a lot easier than it was the first go around. There's still some resistance, and like I said, if I were to pour that boiling water out and pour more boiling water in again, it would be even easier, but even still, it wasn't that bad. Then we're gonna let the water cool, and we'll do it again. 1 hour later. Now I'm gonna pull the PVC out of the jig, and we'll see if the boiling water did the job. Looks like it did. You can see the hold, the curve is sustaining itself, and if we compare the two, boiling water versus brute force, you can see the boiling water one worked a lot better. Finn, thank you for watching my video.